3, 2, 1, 0.
As Freakish Workshop has already started in the chat, it is 7 o'clock. Let's go. Welcome, one and all, to Monday Night Nerd. We are less than just over 24 hours from the end of Anime North 2025, and we are here on YouTube and also on TikTok. We're going to talk all about this great weekend. And I hope you all had a great weekend as well. If you're new here and this is your first time checking out the podcast, my name is Corp Cosplay. I am a cosplayer in the Southern Ontario area. I'm a nerd and everything else. And this is my show. We talk about nerdy things every single week. I talk about cosplay, comics, music, movies, nerdy stuff in general, and a whole lot more. I can't believe Anime North is already over. It's kind of crazy. I was saying to everybody on Sunday, like, it was probably the quickest Anime North I've ever been to. Like, it went by like that. We checked in, and by, like, the end of Saturday, I was like, we're done in, like, 9 hours, if that. So, it has been crazy. Alex, it is good to see you. Everyone in TikTok world, thanks for hopping on and checking out the show. Usually on the podcast, we do talk all about newsy news stuff at the beginning, topical things. However, because I have been nose deep in the table behind me in the cosplay world getting ready for Anime North, I did not really consume anything over the past week. It's just been all cosplay. So I really haven't seen anything. I really haven't watched anything. I really haven't been involved in anything. So, really don't have a lot of news, except that even though we are done with Anime North, we are heading into Niagara Falls Comic-Con this weekend. It is back-to-back Niagara Falls now, Friday to Sunday at the Niagara Falls Convention Center, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario. And I will be there. I will be volunteering. I will not be cosplaying. I will be working with the celebrities as I do every single year. I think this is my 11th year volunteering at that con. Or no. Has it been? Yeah, it's probably been almost 11. I'll have to check. It is going to be a great con as always. I will be seeing the people like Alex. I'll be seeing a whole bunch of other people. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys have your tickets. I hope you guys are going to be there as well. Freakish Workshop says, Fortnite Epic Games is in some hot water for misusing James Earl Jones' AI voice. I did see a little bit about that. I don't know too much about it, so I do not really want to talk about it in case anyone reads this or sees this and has any misinformation. But I did hear that they are a little, some people are not too pleased with it because of certain things that the AI voice was saying, which I believe were quickly patched. But yeah, we'll talk more about that next week when I'm able to actually do a little bit of a dive into what happened and what is the solution from our friends at Epic Games. Other than Niagara Falls Comic-Con coming up this weekend, which we'll be talking about the weekend after, there is going to be a whole bunch of new content that I'm going to be shooting for my YouTube channel for the next month. I have got a buttload of stuff ready to go, and I just need time to do it. And now, after Niagara Falls Comic-Con, I have no other cons really except for Nickel City in Buffalo in a couple weeks. I'm pretty much free till Fan Expo, so I'm going to be doing a lot of shooting. A lot of content is going to be coming out on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching, or if you're watching and are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Corp Cosplay, you should hop on there because there's going to be a whole bunch of cosplay content coming out there very, very soon. I'm going to start a whole new series. We're also going to be doing a series called How Did I Build That Cosplay? And it is not going to be a tutorial. It is going to be a walkthrough. I'm going to walk through every single bit of my cosplays that I've been working on and that I've completed that you've all seen on my socials. And honestly, there's going to be some things that are just going to be, I bought this. And I want to do a video series like that because I feel like there's so many big cosplayers out there that will just build, and that's great that they have the skill to do that. I don't have that skill. And I learned that, and I knew it before Anime North, but it was accentuated at Anime North when I saw some amazing cosplays that I don't know how to sew. So there are going to be times during those videos that I'm going to say, I just simply bought the prop or I bought the piece or something like that. So we're going to go into that. We're going to have a whole series on that. We got another series coming out and a whole bunch more. So you should follow me on all of the TikTok and on social media and all those things, Instagram and all that. It's all Myers Corp Cosplay to be ready for all the new content that's going to be coming out. And if you're here, if you can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hear that share, and all those things that every other person on this platform talks about, it'd be greatly appreciated. It shows that you want more reviews about Comic-Cons because I'm doing a lot of Comic-Cons this year. And if you guys don't want to hear about it, well, then I won't talk about it. But if you guys are interested about knowing what Comic-Cons you should go to, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So we're going to do that. If you can hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, it means a lot. Andre in chat says almost all of my cosplay stuff is bought. And yes, that is fine. For anyone out there who is cosplaying or is thinking of cosplaying and sees people like myself or anyone else who has got these big builds and all that, folks, buy it if you want. It doesn't matter. The Gambit cosplay I have, that coat was purchased. That coat was not made by me because I can't sew. And I'm going to learn, but right now I wanted to enjoy Gambit, so I bought the jacket. And everyone knows that. So sit back, enjoy cosplaying, whatever form you enjoy. Before we jump into Anime North and its review, we always have a sponsor here on the podcast. That sponsor, as always, is the beautiful, amazing, lovely, incredible wife of mine. She is amazing. And man, she has just been such a support system, especially this weekend with Anime North. I would not be doing this. I would not be the person I am without her. So, hun, you will always be my sponsor. You guys know that. I've been doing this for over 100 episodes, but I will continue to do it for 100 more. Hun, I love you. You will always be my sponsor. All right, let's jump into the main event. Anime North 2025 is in the books, out of sight. If you guys are watching this later on and not watching this live, you should tune in if you have the chance. Monday nights, live, 7 p.m. on my YouTube, and hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, on TikTok as well. Tune in. I can talk to you about stuff. If you leave a comment, you can interact. That's why I do this live, because I like having you guys in chat and talking back and forth. So, Anime North 2025 is done. Let's kind of go through an overview of Anime North, because for the people who have never attended Anime North or are nowhere near the Toronto area, you're probably going, what the hell is Anime North and why is it such a cool con? Well, Anime North is Canada's largest fan-run anime convention that is held annually in Toronto. Why is that important? Well, the key word there is fan-run. This convention is non-for-profit. What does that mean? That means that all the money and after paying off everything, all the money that is made from this convention goes towards charity. There is no extra profit made. There's nobody making a ton of money in the background off of this convention. This convention is all volunteer run and is completely non-for-profit. This is the 29th year of the convention. Next year is going to be really exciting because it will be the 30th anniversary of Anime North, and I'm super excited about that. Anime North celebrates anime, manga, cosplay, gaming, Japanese culture, and a whole lot more. There are panels, there are cosplay contests, there are vendors, there are guest appearances in the industry, there are full-on workshops, there's tea ceremony, there's tea ceremonies, there's a whole bunch of Japanese culture involved. It is honestly one of the most fun conventions I go to every single year. And the thing that makes it even more fun than probably a lot of people that attend Anime North is that I'm not an anime fan. I'm not a manga fan. I did not grow up with anime. I do not watch it now. I'm not a fan of it. And I don't say I'm not a fan of it as I hate it. I just don't watch it. There are certain things I watched growing up. I did play Pokemon. I did watch some Pokemon. When I was home for lunch, when I was in grade school, coincidentally, Sailor Moon was on during that point. There was nothing else to watch, so I did watch a lot of Sailor Moon. But other than that, I have never watched Dragon Ball Z. I have never watched One Piece. I have never watched Death Note. I've never read any manga or anything like that. So I am coming into this con a blind rookie when it comes to anime, manga, and all of this culture. So it's really fun for me to discover and see things in the con that I don't understand. I'm very curious when it comes to stuff like this, and we're going to talk about that in the next few weeks because, as I've mentioned before on the podcast, we are going to have some guests coming up, and we're going to be starting a series basically called something to the effect of Michael Doesn't Understand. And it's going to be somebody coming in with a fandom that I don't have an affinity for. And I want them to not convince me to like it, but explain to me why that fandom means so much to them when I really have no idea what it's about. So Anime North was kind of the thing that sort of pushed that into existence because I really am interested in that culture and manga and why everybody is so big into this. So I really enjoy going to Anime North and seeing stuff like that. And it's not like there's nothing there for me. I want to stress that. There is a gaming aspect. There is obviously cosplay, which I don't care what character you're cosplaying. If you do a good cosplay, I'm going to fall in love with it no matter what. But seeing little bits of gaming here and there is great as well. So that's the background of Anime North. My background, like I said, I'm a rookie. This is my 5th year going. I would say 5th year in a row, but 2020, 2021 were obviously the pandemic and everything happened. There was no Anime North, but consistently I've gone 5 years in a row. So 2018, yes, 2018. You're probably wondering why I'm looking back there. Every year the staff gets a badge, a little pin, and I have all of mine lined up there. So yes, 2018 was my first year. As with most conventions that we review here on the show, we're going to go by day so you can see what I did. Obviously, I'm only one person. Obviously, I am part of the AV crew, the audio video group, so I do have work while I'm at the convention. I'm not just cosplaying, although I am able to cosplay on certain days. So there are going to be things that I am going to attend, so I am not able to just roam the grounds free and see everything. When it comes to layout, if you've never been to Anime North is a odd convention when it comes to this area. This area is very what you traditionally think of a Comic-Con, not a San Diego, but just a regular Comic-Con. There is a building. But with this one, there is a main building that has vendors. There's a building higher up that has a main stage and some gaming in it. And there's a lot of people that just hang outside. There are tons and tons of people that come to this convention that do not even buy a ticket. They just cosplay and hang out outside because there's so many people that are just hanging out that it almost becomes an outdoor party if you just want to come and hang out. There's a rave at night. There's stuff at Anime North going from like 9 a.m. till midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. So it is a full-packed day of stuff to do if you're into that culture. So let's go through day by day so you guys can get an understanding of what I did on each day. We got there a little late, and that is because my wife and I do not take time off for Anime North. She works until 5 o'clock, so do I, so we get there as soon as we can after we are done work. So I think we got there around 6. It was a little stressful getting there for us simply because with the cosplay competition, most conventions you sign up online or something like that, they'll let you know, hey, you're in, show up, Here at Anime North, you have to sign in beforehand, and then you have to line up on the Friday or on the Saturday, and they're going to triple check everything with you, and that's when you officially sign in. The problem sometimes, and it happened this time, was they traditionally only allow 50 entrants on the Friday and 30 entrants on the Saturday. The problem with that is Anime North opens, I believe, around 3, 4 o'clock. So if there's something, if you've ever gone to a ticketed event or something that is a lineup only, people start lining up pretty darn early to make sure they don't get missed. Well, I unfortunately was unable to get there that early. So they knew I was going to be late because I was staff. And even if I wasn't there late, I would probably be booked to do something. So they gave me a tiny bit of leeway. I apologize to anyone if you feel that's unfair. I get it. If I was on the outside, I'd be upset, but it comes with the perk of being a staff member that I was able to not push someone out, but there was 51 entrants that day, and they just added a couple extra. It's not a big deal for them to do that. So it was a little bit of a hectic sign up, but I did get signed up on the Friday night. I was very happy to have that under my belt, and I didn't have to worry about it anymore. The fun of Anime North is we stay at a hotel, and if you've ever been to Anime North, the main building is here. The North building is up top. That's where the stage is. That is where most of my events are. Actually, it's all of our events. The hotel is down here on the other side. So when we get there, we have to park at the hotel, walk to the North building, sign in, walk back to the hotel, actually bring the stuff into the room, walk all the way back to the North building because I had an event later that night. That is the one thing of Anime North. I know Fan Expo and stuff like that is a different beast because of how many steps you take. Anime North is pretty darn close as well. There is a ton of walking, and I don't mind it, but when you look at it in the grand scope of things, I walked a ton this weekend. So after the hotel check-in, we brought all of our stuff up. I had to bring my cosplays and stuff. My wife actually goes to this con too. I didn't mention that at the beginning. She is part of the AV group as well, and she cosplayed for the first time in probably a decade. I think I when I first met her, she was cosplaying a little bit. There is a ribbon up here. There's actually 2 that are hers from Anime North from past conventions. But after a while, she decided not to cosplay. However, she decided this is the time to start back into cosplay, and that was really cool to see. I helped her with her cosplay, and we will talk more about that in a bit. But we brought all the stuff upstairs, and then we headed to my first event of the evening, and it was the last event of the evening, and that was Anime Hell. And this is an event that I really enjoy. I know there are some people, some guests who, or not guests, but attendees of the convention who just aren't a fan of this, but it actually works very well for me because I'm not an anime fan. What Anime Hell is, it is an individual who basically makes an hour and a half, hour 45 giant compilation of really old and weird Japanese animes and commercials and all these weird things that really don't make a lot of sense. Like, you'd probably find this video on YouTube, but he does this live in front of everybody on a big projector. It is one of the most fun events every single year because I don't understand anime and manga and all that. So some of the fun clips from especially very old anime that like Speed Racer style is really weird and fun to watch and be like, wow, that made absolutely no sense, but it's anime, so it's okay. So that was that's always a very, very fun event. So we did Anime Hell, and as always, he does an amazing job. I cannot unfortunately remember the individual who does it, but it was a great night. But again, because we showed up so late and Anime Hell ran from 11 to midnight, we didn't really do much on Friday, and that kind of comes with the territory. So after Anime Hell, we went home. We went back to the hotel, which was very, very well. Saphira is in the chat. Hello. I hope you were doing well. I saw that you attended Anime North. I unfortunately did not run into you, but I saw your cosplay. It was amazing from your photos. So Saturday, we woke up. Well, we all woke up bright and early. I, however, did not feel well. I really felt crummy on Saturday. And you're probably wondering, like, why we don't give a crap that we really don't care that you're sick. But I really want to stress there is a point to this. The point to me saying that I wasn't feeling well was I was to the point that I was contemplating going home. When I don't feel well, and you can really tell when I was talking about the Metallica concert, I don't care about much. I just want to feel better. So I woke up, and my wife and I, we talked about this later. It was probably because of the change in weather so quickly, because it was like hot, and then it was wet, and then it was cold, and then it was hot, and my body just does not do well with it. My mom does not do well with it either, so I've inherited that from her. And yeah, I felt like crap. And I honestly, for about 5 minutes, I was sitting there going, I want to hop in the car and drive home. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm so glad I didn't. So what I did was I just kind of sat in the room and didn't do much, which sucks because I missed out on almost the entire morning, which I would have liked to have gone over in my Gambit cosplay and actually seen some people and walked outside. However, I needed to feel better. So I just pretty much relaxed and napped for the first 3 hours of Anime North on the Saturday. However, I had to be downstairs because I had a photo shoot booked with my favorite photographer, Tyrone Islington. He is the one who has done my Luigi cosplay, as you've seen before. He is the one who has done my Dash Rendar. He is the one who did my original Ghost Rider. And now we have done a Gambit photo shoot. And from the previews, holy crap, I am so excited to see what these photos look like. Just the previews alone, without him doing any tweaks or anything, look so cool. We have so many cool poses. Oh, I love working with him. But yeah, we went for a walk. There's a location, if you've ever been to Anime North and you're a cosplayer, you know the underground parking, or not the underground parking, the parking garage where every cosplayer goes and photo shoots. I think when we were shooting, there was probably at least 10 other photographers there shooting in the same area under different angles. But yeah, lots and lots of fun, especially because I was in Gambit and I love wearing that cosplay. It was really funny seeing, I cannot remember her name, but there was a cosplayer who was dressed up as Dr. Doom as we were walking by, and I walked up to her and I said, I just want to say you look amazing. Please don't kill me in the next movie, because Dr. Doom and Gambit will be in the same movie, and there is probably a pretty good chance. I don't know if Channing Tatum's making out of the movie, so hopefully she doesn't kill me, but maybe she will. But yeah, an amazing photo shoot. We ended up doing that, and then we went upstairs. I went upstairs and I met with my wife, because my wife was getting ready to do her cosplay, and her cosplay was Hexadecimal from Reboot. We had a really fun time, and I'm using the air quotes, fun time doing this. It wasn't, to be fair, it wasn't actually that bad, but this was one of those moments where I opened my mouth, and I probably should have done a little bit of research before I opened my mouth. We went to we were taking the train to Toronto. This was for the Disturbed concert, I believe. Maybe? Yeah, I think it was the Disturbed concert. And we were kind of talking about it on the train with someone else. Maybe, who the hell was with us? We were with somebody. Anyways, and Kels brought up, we're going to do the Hexadecimal. She wanted to do the Hexadecimal cosplay, and I was like, okay, like that's a great character. It's been around forever. I would have to 3D print the masks. I'd have to make the crown. She was going to take care of everything else. So I was like, okay, I think we can do that. Famous last words. I was on 3 Reboot Facebook groups. Nobody had the 3D printed patterns for the mask. Nobody, except for a few old cosplayers from like probably early 2000s, had any photos of them in cosplay. It was so hard finding reference photos, because if you don't cosplay, this is something I want people to understand. And I really realized this with my cosplays, because a lot of my cosplays are comic book based, especially with Gambit. There are about 100 different versions that have ever been drawn of Gambit, and there's also times where these versions have been drawn, but they're not drawn for the real world. A lot of new video games and a lot of new movies have tons and tons of reference materials and reference photos from every single angle of the character. So you can see that a lot of these characters and a lot of these costumes were built for the real world. Anything from like before 2015, it gets a little difficult. So not being able to find anyone with the mask files, nobody having really good reference photos was a pain. So thankfully, our friend Edith, who is a 3D designer, was able to create 3 different masks digitally, and then I was able to 3D print them, which turned out amazing. If you've not seen them, you should check them out on my Instagram. I'm going to be posting the other ones in the next little while. And then I had to quickly make up a crown for her. I had been kind of fighting with the new Gambit torso that I was making, so my wife was very generous in saying, focus on that. You know, you're going to be competing and stuff this weekend. Make sure that's the priority. Get the crown done as best you can. I know I could have done a better crown, and if I ever share a picture of it, you're going to be like, Mike, you could have done better. 100%. But when time constraints happen, it's the best I could have done. But she was happy with it. So we got her dressed up in hexadecimal, and to be completely honest, she was pretty much blind in the cosplay. She had a red full Zentai suit on, and then the mask over top with the eyes out, but we also had colored mesh to look like the different colored eyes. So she was walking blind. So our friend Christine was able to help walk her around with me and sort of guide her. So she did not stay in the cosplay that long because she didn't want to walk into too many walls or anything, but she did enjoy it, and I think we're going to be doing some upgrades, so hopefully she will be bringing hexadecimal back out again. Maybe she'll do a photo shoot, maybe she'll just do Anime North, I don't know, but overall, she was very happy with it, and we're going to do a little bit of upgrades over the next few months just to make things a little better for next time. After we got her to her destination, which was her event she had to do in the North Building, I was able to meet up with some friends. I met up with Edith, who was there. She was dressed up as Lord Beerus from Dragon Ball Z. And when I say she did a great job, I'm saying that as a cosplay fan. This girl does not cosplay that often, and she knocked it out of the park with that cosplay. She did a great job. Every time I turn around, there was somebody wanting a photo with her. Her daughter was also there in cosplay, and we also ran into Alex in chat and his cousin Bree, who was also dressed up in cosplay. Alex was dressed as a worker for the con because he also was working as well. And it was great just hanging out with them for a little bit. We didn't really have a ton of time because, like I said, Kels was working her event, and then I was working an event after that. This is something I enjoyed, but I also, looking back on it, part of me wishes changed. I had an event, and then I had the masquerade, and then I had an event. So pretty much from 3 o'clock to the end of the Saturday, I really didn't see the outside world, which normally I wouldn't care about, but it was also like I didn't really get a chance to walk around that much. So a little frustrating, but the events that I did were fun. The first event I did was hold on one second. As Alex said in chat, also Edith is 7 foot tall, so she nails everything. Exactly. If I've talked about Edith on here, but Edith is, I believe she's my height. She's about 6 foot. She's pretty close to my height. And then as with Lord Beerus, has the big giant ears. So it was very easy to find her in a crowd. A 6 foot tall woman with about another 1.5 ears on her. It was perfect. It was like having a big arrow over top of her. It was great. Sorry, that was such a sidetrack. So then we had my first event, which was the AMVs. And the AMVs is really fun for me. Again, it's something that I don't really I'm not a big anime fan, but I do enjoy this part. It is the anime music videos. And if you've ever seen early YouTube clips and stuff like that where people have done compilations of anime to a specific song, that is exactly what this is. People submit their different videos and they're shown in front of a pretty large audience. There are different sections of it. There are, I believe every year they have an open section of you can pick whatever anime you want, you can pick whatever song you want, and then there's also a challenge, and the challenge is you have to use something specific. So I think this year it had to be an anime from the early 2000s, so you had to pick something from that to be involved in this challenge part. But it's always a lot of fun because it's fun to see, even if I don't understand the anime, because it's sort of a music video style, I don't really need to understand. I can kind of get the visual of it, and the song choices is always fun. I love seeing people do the music videos that hit with the beats, because I'm that type of person. If I'm ever doing an edit to a video, I try and hit those beats so it kind of flows that way. To the part that I think a lot of people are here to see, and the masquerade is something that I've always enjoyed. This is, I believe, I haven't 100% counted, but I believe this is my 9th cosplay contest. I have done several for Fan Expo. I have now done 4 for Anime North. I believe 4. 3, 4, 4. 4. And this is a very different beast than Fan Expo. We're going to do a whole video on the YouTube channel talking about the differences between the two conventions, because while Fan Expo is the monster con across North America, at this point, it doesn't follow the same rules as the other contests, specifically Anime North. Anime North is part of the International Cosplayers Guild, I believe it's called. And basically what that means is that if you win a cosplay award at Anime North, it counts towards other major cons around the world. It is one of the very few in North America. I think there's 3 in North America that have this honor. Because of that, there are certain rules and certain things that Fan Expo doesn't do. Fan Expo, when it comes to awards, are very simple. Like, you're the best novice, you're the best you're the best novice, you're the best intermediate, you're the best master, and there might be like 1 or 2 judges awards sprinkled in. With Anime North, they are very heavy on the rookie novice level of cosplay. If it's your first time, if you haven't really won an award before, they're very big on giving awards to them because they want to inspire you to be a cosplayer. They want you to have the motivation to keep going, and it really works. Then there is the second tier, which is the journeyman. That is meaning you've either won 3 novice awards that weren't major ones, or you've won like a best in class, best in show. Then you have artisan, which is the third tier, and then you have master. And as I said, every time you move up, you either have to have 3 small awards or 1 best in class or best in show. When I went into this, I was a journeyman, and you can kind of tell the way I said that. Spoilers of what happens. I was going in as a journeyman, and technically, and I talked to a couple people who are in our friend group, they're like, you haven't won enough awards at Anime North to be bumped to journeyman. You should still be a rookie. And I said, well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plaques there. 2 are from Fan Expo, 2 are from Anime North. I have also competed in like 5 other competitions where I didn't win. I don't think I'm a rookie anymore. And I would just made the call to say, and I did this at Fan Expo last year when I was Judge Dredd, I'm just going to be a journeyman. Because I feel like the amount of knowledge I have in cosplay, the amount of performances I've done, the comfortable level I have on stage, I'm not a rookie. So I don't feel like it's fair if I compete in that level. Technically I should, but I personally don't feel that way, so I pushed myself up. So this was my first competition as a journeyman at Anime North. And I was doing Gambit. Now, there are parts of the cosplay community who probably look at my Gambit cosplay and say, well, the coat's not made, I'm wearing black jeans, probably not a fully made cosplay. 100%. I completely agree with you. However, the jacket was completely weathered by me. I did all the foam work. I 3D printed some things. I made the staff. I made the cards, etc. It was enough to make it. So, want to push that because I can just imagine there are some cosplayers out there who just don't like that I was on stage in not a completely made cosplay. So we signed up and we went to the back and we got ready. This is something that I've pushed many times and I'll push it one more time. If you're a cosplayer and you compete at a masquerade, whether it's Expo, whether it's Anime North, whether it's any convention in the world, if you're backstage with other cosplayers, talk to them. You don't have to say hi to everybody, but pick one or two cosplayers that are cosplaying either something you know or are doing or have a piece of the cosplay that you're impressed with. Talk with them. Introduce yourself. Say, hi, my name's Mike. I really like this part of your cosplay. Or, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of that character. Start a conversation. This is how relationships build. This is how friendships build. It is so easy, and I came this close to doing it at Anime North because I'll be completely honest, and I've said it before and I will stress it again. This is no problem. Being in front of 150, 200 people, I'm good. One-on-one, I suck. I'm terrible going up and introducing myself. And the only reason I keep telling you to do that on here is to remind myself to do it because I almost didn't do it this weekend. However, there were a couple cosplayers that I did go up and say hi and talk to their cosplays because they were amazing. The one thing I really want to stress with Anime North that I love, that I wish Fan Expo did more of, is the prep work. When you go to Fan Expo, it is, well, let me take a step back. The competitions at the two conventions are very different. The competition at Fan Expo is you walk on stage, you strike 3 poses, you're probably on stage for 15, 20 seconds, and you walk off. Anime North, you get up to a full minute. And you do a full performance with your own audio and everything. This is very important because it's a different type of performance. With that comes different requirements. Fan Expo, you walk into the judges' room, you get you can go through craftsmanship where they're going to judge your cosplay, how you made it, and then you're going to go into a room and you're pretty much going to sit there for an hour, and then you're going to walk on stage and you're going to strike your pose and you're done. Anime North is a little more in depth. So Anime North, you walk in, you get ready, sit in the waiting room or the lounge, whatever you want to call it, the lounge room with everyone else. Then they're going to take you to judging, where they're going to judge your cosplay if you went for craftsmanship. Then they're going to take you over and get a photo taken, and that photo taken is for reference for later. Then you're going to go talk to the MC. The MC is going to just go through what you've written to them in your application, what they're going to say, when you're going to walk off, etc. Then you're going to talk to audio and make sure your audio works. Then you're going to talk to what are known as the ninjas, and the ninjas are the people who are going to help you on stage. Make sure to tell them, if you're going to throw something or da-da-da-da-da, they're there for that. So there are many people in this performance that are going to help you and are going to triple check things. This is very important because when I got there on the Friday and I handed in my stuff, my audio file didn't work. I had sent them audio and the audio did not work. So thankfully, because all those barriers and steps are in there, I was able to make a new version and send it to them. So I was ready for the performance that night. we went through all those things, and then we sat there, and we sat for about an hour, hour and a half. They also feed the cosplayers. Yeah, we get fed at Anime North. That is a big deal. I've worked at Niagara Falls. I've worked at Hamilton. I've been to Expo over 15 years. I've never heard of another con feeding you. And I don't mean feeding you like, here's 3 pizzas. Feeding you like sandwiches, stuff like that. Like food, which was so nice to get and so appreciative. Saphira Cosplay said, what? Yeah, we get fed, which is like, I almost hit the floor when I saw that. Like, and I'll admit, I didn't go over there that much because my stomach and stuff is a little iffy sometimes, so I didn't eat, but everyone was thrilled to get the food. So then we just kind of hung around and chatted and got ready for the competition, and then the competition started. And the cosplayers this year were very different than anything I've seen in a long time. And I want anyone who's listening or watching to not judge until I finish this sentence. The rookies in this were rookies in the best way. And that was that they weren't 100% great on stage. And that is the best thing. I don't want anybody to take that as they suck. You're new. You're a rookie. That's great. I have been to enough Fan Expo competitions. I've competed in enough Fan Expo competitions. I've been to enough Anime North competitions that I have seen so many years where the rookies come out and they look better than the masters when it comes to performance, when it comes to their cosplay. And there's so much that the Anime North judges and stuff can push people. Like if you say I'm a rookie and you come in and you've got like a Warhammer 40K armor, they're gonna bump you up. This year, I saw so many people, not literally but figuratively, tripping over themselves. And I was so happy to see it. Not that they were tripping over themselves, but it was so good to know these guys are new. And I cannot wait to see what they're like in 2 years. I can't wait to see how they're going to be in 3 years. Because there were so many people that came off the stage that I could tell in their eyes they loved what they did. And they loved being on that stage. And just seeing that gleam in their eye was like, man. And that wasn't the best performance you could have done. I can't wait to see how much you grow. Because it was probably like a 70. You're going to be at 100 in a year. I could just tell. So it was great seeing the rookies do such a good job at just being new and actually being rookies. Nerdy Crystal said the costumes for the ones that won, I was impressed with, to be honest. I was like, well, I know I'm not good enough at what I do. Crystal, stop slamming yourself, man. You have got so many good cosplays. You are a former Fan Expo guest. You could be up there on that stage with the rest of them. I can just see it now. And then we jumped into my performance. And if you've heard, if you were there, if you have seen the clip from other people, I did Gambit and I did a dance to Uptown Funk, and it was fun. It was absolutely so fun. I'm going to talk more about this in another video, but I want to talk about it now because it is important. I did not know for the longest time what I was going to do with this performance. When it came to other ones that I've done, and you can see them on my channel, I probably know what the audio is and kind of a general idea of what I'm going to do 3 months before the con. Because I'm that guy. Like, I'm the audio guy. I will listen to a song and I will go, that reminds me of so-and-so. And I will figure out a way to make the performance work. I went through probably 10 songs that I had ideas for, but I could not find the button for it. I could not find the perfect fit. There was, I was thinking of Motorhead Ace of Spades. There were points where I was thinking of doing a skit, and I was thinking it was gonna, and I'm glad I did not do this. I was really debating on doing a skit and doing a somewhat drunk Gambit angry at Magneto for taking Rogue from him in X-Men 97, and I have a foam Magneto helmet, and I was gonna like beat the crap out of it, but I was just like, it's so depressing and so not fun. So I used ChatGPT. I went on to ChatGPT and I said, list me 20 songs that that you think would be good for a Gambit cosplay performance on stage for a minute. And this was one of them. Smooth Criminal was another one, but I knew if I did Smooth Criminal, I'd have to figure out how to moonwalk, because you can't do that without moonwalking or doing the lean. So yeah, this was the one that I just kind of went, okay, everyone knows this song. It's a fun song. I can have fun with it. What do I do as the performance? Like, I've got the audio. What's the show? And I just went, it's a music video. I'm going to be the Gambit music video. What would Gambit do if he had a theme song? Well, the theme song's Uptown Funk. He would probably be singing into his staff like a microphone while he's alone. He'll probably be spinning it around while singing to himself. And he's probably going to be throwing cards around. I came up with the idea because, and I've never said this on the podcast, I do that normally. And I've done it since I was a kid. And this is me. Part of me is kind of like, holy shit, I can't believe you're saying this in front of people. When I was growing up, pause. There is. We'll get to it later. When I was little, my mom, who I think I've told before, is a former fitness instructor. So in our basement as a kid, we had a giant wall size mirror that was like 6 feet by 6 feet. And late at night after my mom would go to bed, I would grab my phone or my MP3 player or whatever, and I would throw in headphones and I would lip sync dance in front of the mirror just because it was fun. I loved doing it. It was me trying to figure out stage presence without really realizing it. And to be completely honest, I still do it. I still do it from time to time. Kels is well aware of it. There are times where I will just throw on a headphone. I will go down. I don't have a giant mirror like that anymore, but I will go down to my basement washroom and I will close the door and I will just look in the mirror and I will just rock out and just enjoy it. You know, kind of what, funny enough, TikTok became, because that once I saw what TikTok was, where all these kids are going on lip syncing and dancing, I'm like, dude, I've been doing that since the 90s. I've been doing that since I was like 12, if not younger. So that's how I kind of visioned it. And honestly, when I had practiced it a couple times in my backyard, just kind of getting like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. You can't tell in the video, but like as soon as I hit the staff, I don't see the audience. It's white because of the lights. And I just mentally picture I'm standing in front of a mirror. What would you do? You're all alone. You don't see the audience. What do you do? And I did what I would have done if I was alone in my basement when I was a kid. And everyone loved it. And that's kind of nuts. That it's like, man, there was a point in my life where I was embarrassed to do something like that. And I was like, man, if someone ever finds out about this and sees that I can do this, I'm going to be the laughing stock of everywhere. And I did it in front of a whole room full of people. And they cheered. Like, honestly makes me emotional to be like, man, you were so scared of putting yourself out there. And you did. And everyone loved it. You know, I posted, when I posted about today on the award, I near the bottom, I always remember a quote because it is so me. It's from, it's a modified version of a George Carlin quote, and that is, I was never a great student, but the only A's I ever cared about were the applause, the admiration, no, the audience, the attention, and the applause. And over the weekend, I got straight A's. And it was insane. Like, I walked off and I felt like that was probably one of the most cloud nine moments I've ever had. It was like, I did it. I just kind of let myself be me in front of that many people, and they cheered. And that was kind of insane. And I was ready to go back and just relax for the rest of the night. However, I didn't get the opportunity because I still had one more event to work. So we stood around and we watched the rest of the competition, and it was great. Some of the amazing performances this year. I hope everyone that performed gets their footage and posts it online, because I can't wait to remember them. They were so good. And then after that, we had an event called the 404s. And the 404s, if you've never seen it, are an improv group in Ontario. I think they're across Canada. They're always in Anime North every single year. This is the most fun because they have an adult show, an adult-only show, where it's just, they don't care. It's all rude, gross humor, which is so fun. And I was supposed to work the entire show. However, because wifey stayed, she loves that show, and she ended up working part of the show. I really didn't have anything to do, so I ended up actually taking off early and going back to the hotel and packing up and kind of having that 5 minutes of like kind of taking it all in. The big difference between Fan Expo and Anime North is that the Fan Expo, you wait around after and get your rewards. Anime North, they do them the next day. So even though all that went well, I didn't know it was going to happen until the next day. So tried to get to bed, obviously still a little jittery about it, but was able to fall asleep. Woke up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed the next morning. And then I had a cosplay fail. The yin-yang of the world was so perfect. Like, I know when stuff like that happens, that the yin is going to come back around and kick me in the ass. And sure enough, I woke up. I was like, all right, we're going to do Dan. We're going to do one of my favorite cosplays because it's so comfortable. Going to do one of the coolest characters from Street Fighter. I get the cosplay on. I pull the wig out and I look at it and go, right, I was going to fix this last year. It is so broken, I can't use it. And I dropped it back in the bin. And I just didn't even want to fight with it. I was just wanting to relax. I could have fought with it and made it work as best I could, but it just wasn't worth it. I also, if you've seen my post recently, I made a new fireball, I made a fireball that comes out of my hand. It's strapped to my wrist. So that's the new addition to Dan. I have to modify that because while it is the TPU flexible filament to wrap around my wrist, I had like the biggest emo cut across my wrist here yesterday that I was like, yep, we're taking that off. I'm not dealing with that. But Dan actually worked really well. There was a bunch of people, even though I did not have the big fancy curl that he has in the big long ponytail, people were still coming up and taking photos with me because they thought it was a cool cosplay. So that made me feel good that, yeah, I chucked the wig to the side, but it still worked out very well. And then after that, we after walking around a bit, I ran into Alex again and Bree, and we hung out for a bit. And then I met up with Crystal. This was Crystal's, I think this was your first time at Anime North. So it was kind of cool having someone there who's not experienced it before and kind of walking around and showing her, like, this is what the whole thing is. She's a great cosplayer, so I thought she would enjoy coming. She came with some friends. And yeah, after hanging out for a little bit, I had to, funny enough, go back and I had to work the award ceremony, which was not planned. There was not like, Mike, you need to work the award ceremony after they found out the news. It was always in my schedule to work the award ceremony. And that's because I'm going to go no matter what. So I'm there. I might as well do something. And even that, like, I was on soundboard and it was literally like, podium works. Yep, cool. I'm done. Like, it wasn't a big job, but I was there. And then they started going through the awards. And like I said at the beginning, they really push the novices to get them awards. Like, dude, you guys did a great job. You should give this as motivation to keep going. So there was a lot of great novices out there that I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And they all deserve some amazing awards. And then we got to Journeyman. And they started going through the different contestants and all the awards that were coming through. And my name was not picked. And then they got to the last award, which was, by the way, the awards are broken up into 2 categories for each division. There's workmanship, which is how good the costume is, and then there's stage, which is the performance side. So they went through all the workmanship, they went through all of the mini stage ones, and then they got to the best journeyman in class stage. And they announced my name. And it was kind of a shock. And I know you're probably like, dude, you did such a great performance. It's anytime you hear your name called, especially for something like that, it's a shock because it's that moment of like, it's real. Like, you can fantasize and come up with all these ideas. Like, this is what the minute they say your name, it's like, now it's real. And with that, it means I'm no longer a journeyman. I am now up to artisan. I'm on the 3rd tier. If I win one more major award, I will now be considered a master cosplayer. That's insane to me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, this is a thing that in 2020, when I was laid off, I was like, man, I should really start doing this cosplay stuff because I'm really enjoying it. And the one thing that always stopped me was time. That was always my go-to excuse. Like, I don't have enough time. And then the pandemic happened and I was like, oh, I'm laid off and I'm getting paid from the government to stay home for a couple months. If there was ever a time to do it, now is it. And because of that, I've now won. Fingers do their thing. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is up there. And it's like, holy shit. Like, that's one of those, and I've said it before on the podcast, and please, if you guys take anything from this podcast, please take this to heart. There are moments in your life you'll hit that crossroads and you have to pick one of 2 choices. That one choice could impact you so much in the future. So even if it's just, I'm going to do one thing today and, it's something I don't really know, I'm not really sure, but I at least want to take a chance. Dude, take the chance. If you're an artist, please take that chance because you don't know what's going to be around the next bend. If you told me in 2020, actually, well, that one was 2019. If you told me in 2020 I was going to have 4 more awards, one of them being a best in class, I would have laughed. I would have been like, bull, I'll have maybe an award added to this. So, yeah, it's still kind of like, holy crap. And as Crystal said, time to break out the sewing machine. Yes, I'm going to be, that is going to be something that I'm going to be trying to focus on over the next little while. And Edith said, you absolutely earned the title, Mike. This is clearly your calling. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's shocking. Like, it really is. I grew up kind of being I liked being the behind the scenes guy. Even though I had the personality to be out there and all that, I was always stage crew. I didn't think it was my thing to do this and stuff on stage and talk and did it. And now it's completely different. And it's crazy. So yeah, I got the award. I got a box of a whole bunch of anime stuff that I have no idea what any of them are, except I got a little Charmander. I got a little Charmander thing. It was a little click together model. So he's now watching me. He's here on my desk watching me as I work, which is adorable. Especially because he was my first starter. I was like, man, if it was Squirtle or Bulbasaur, I wouldn't have cared. But like, Charmander was my first. And then after that, we kind of just shopped. You know, my wife wanted to actually go out and see the con and actually enjoy it because she had been working as much as I had. So we did a couple laps. She was big on getting some new stickers and some pins and stuff like that for her badge. There wasn't really much I was looking for. I did pick up three patches. I picked up 2 X-Men patches, which are going on my shoulders for the Gambit coat. And I also picked up a Raccoon City Police Department badge, for Leon Kennedy, which will be going on my convention bag because I want something Resident Evil on there. And the only other thing, I ended up picking up a 2-pack of McFarlane Green Lantern figures. I picked up the the Batman Death Metal Batman Green Lantern and a new Hal Jordan, which are now downstairs displayed with the rest of my Green Lanterns. And thank you to our friends at GameStop and EB Games for putting a lot of those McFarlane figures on clearance. So I've been gaining that collection over the past few weeks because they're not $35 anymore. They're like $10, which is what I would pay for those. Still missing a couple, but collection is growing. And yeah, after that, we ended up coming home just in time that we missed the rain, which was perfect because I would have hated to get soaked at the end. And that was it. And now I kind of sit here going like, man, I'm an artisan now. I'm a 3rd-tier cosplayer. And that's not a brag. That's just like my peers and judges of cosplayers think I'm that good. And it's like, holy crap. I'm still kind of shocked. But it was a hell of a weekend. It's always fun at Anime North. You know, I wish it was possibly a day longer, but that might be a little greedy. Maybe do 4 days. I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I will obviously be there next year as well, especially because it's the 30th anniversary. I got some ideas for what we're going to do next year because I feel like I need to bump up my game and I want to do something that is very me that I don't think anyone has really done before. So we'll see. I don't want to say what it is because my mind, as a cosplayer, my mind is going to change 15 times before it happens. But yeah, I have a couple ideas of doing something a bit bigger and a bit more me. Not that Gambit's not me, but a little more hits me in the chest, in the heart. So we'll see. When it comes to the performance, and is it going to be shown anywhere? 12 o'clock, noon tomorrow. Go on my YouTube here or on my other social media accounts. It will be live on all of the accounts. There will be all the full length. I think the vertical one that'll be on Instagram and TikTok are going to be, the intro is going to be cut and the outro is going to be cut from the host. But yeah, you guys will see the whole performance. If you weren't at Anime North, you'll see it tomorrow. And that's about it. That is about it. Anime North, like I said, is in the books. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. This weekend, I will be at Niagara Falls Comic Con. We will be rocking it with the celebrities and having a great time Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then after that, we have Nickel City, and that's about it. We've got a list up here of some cosplay things that I am going to be working on. I have to put this new one on there, but we're going to be, hopefully by the end of June, I'm going to try and get the new Ghost Rider ready to go, so it is ready for Fan Expo. I'm going to try and upgrade Green Lantern. That might be a next year project. We'll see. But yeah, We got a lot going on. You guys should all stay tuned here on all the social media channels because, as I said earlier, we're going to have a lot of content coming out on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and a whole lot more. We've got a whole bunch coming out. So you should subscribe, like, and all those things so you can make sure to stay up to date. Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked that that happened this weekend, but man, it was fun. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. We're past an hour, and you guys are probably like, shut up, Mike, I have stuff to do. Have yourselves a good night. We will see you very, very soon. Hopefully, I will see you all at Niagara Falls. And if I don't, I will see you next Monday where we will be talking all about Niagara Falls Comic Con. Have yourselves a good night. We will talk to you soon. Love you all. Take care. Hey, thanks for watching Monday Night Nerd. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the subscribe button, like this content, and follow on social media for even more nerdy fun. See you soon.